Hi everyone. So today we're going to do the exploding box, which was one of our classes that was programmed in, which we now can't do. So here we have an exploding box. Take the lid off, and we have then got lots of different panels that all fold out. Okay, so it's relatively simple. So let's do this. The easiest way of doing it is with double-sided paper. So let's have a look at what we need. Right, your measurements can be adjusted to what you have available, but everything needs to be cut square and you score in thirds. Okay, so the double-sided paper is fantastic. So we're going to start with 30 by 30 and we're going to score it at 10 and 20. Okay, so here is my double-sided paper, and I've got this little one with little flowers and then tiny little flowers on this side. So we can decide which we want later on as the outside. So I'm going to take my scoreboard and we're going to score at 10 and 20. So there we go, 10 and 20. Turn it round at right angles and we're going to score at 10 and 20. That is it. Done. So let's move the board out the way for the moment. So we now have 9 panels. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut out all of the corner panels. Now I'm actually cutting on the inside of my score line. So I'm taking the score line off. So there's one. Keep all the bits that come off. You'll see why in a minute. Make nice clean corners. There we go. So I end up with a cross piece. So I'm just going to take my bone folder and I'm going to fold these up to crease them. But what I want to do, when I do, make sure that these are in line and then you get a nice right angle. Fold it out. There we go. So there are my 4 panels ready, and that is going to make my box. Okay, so now we go back to these pieces, which were what we cut out from the corners. So if I flip them over, I now have a matching piece of card. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer, and there'll be 2 sides that are right angles that have been cut properly, and these have got the score lines. So I want to turn it round and take those score lines off, and I'm going to go for 9 centimetres. So 9 by 9 and put to one side. 9 by 9. So if you remember, we scored at 10 centimetres, so I'm just now making this a little bit smaller. So clean up as you go. Right, so we now have panels that will go onto those pieces to give me a contrast. Now, both bits are a little bit fussy, so I'm going to take them and place them onto some metallic silver. Do make sure that you have the right side down. If that's pink inside, then we want the blue showing here. So there's one. So again, put that to one side for the moment while I do the next one. This will just give a little contrast between the two colours. So I'm going to my first one that I did, because the glue will have just gone off a little bit. And whether you want to do it with knife and ruler or by eye with the scissors, that's up to you. Keep the bits that you take off because we will need those later. Now the thing to remember when sticking these on is keep away from the folds. Right, so you need to keep away from this fold piece here, otherwise your box won't move properly. So now I'm going to place this onto here. Check the fold. And we're going all the way round. You can see we've got just a little bit of a gap showing through. So where it looked rather fussy before, we've now covered a lot of that. So there is our panels on there, and it all works beautifully. Okay, I'm going to put that aside to dry, and we're coming back here, and our next square we want is 18.5 by 18.5. So here is my 18.5 by 18.5. I'm having this blue design on the outside of my box, so that is what I want to do my lid from. So I'm going to place it down, and I want to score at 2 and 4 all the way round here. So we're going 2, 4, 2, 4, last one, so I'm I'm now going to take my bone folder and make sure all of those are nicely creased. Don't forget to do your creases, because it does make a terrific difference when you're trying to put the box together. Right. Now I'm going to draw on for you, just to show you where I'm going to cut, because it's not altogether easy to see. So I've got two lines going across. I'm going to cut down the score lines here up to that second crease. So I'm going to cut down and cut down, turn it round and do the opposite side down to the second crease. Okay. Now from these four corners I want to take out a tiny slip. Make sure you're not doing it from this bit. There we go. So there are our panels. Now I want to put double-sided tape across these two and across these two to begin with. So I'm going to put double-sided on those two, and double-sided on those two. Now on this one here I only need to put double-sided along this longer one on this bit. So I'm going to go, it doesn't need to go right the way along. So we're going to go for these longer pieces with the extras on, and we're going to take off your double-sided and fold in along that way. Turn it round and repeat the other side. There we go. Now these pieces here will form the sides of your box, and these will be a locking piece. So we're going to take off the one nearest the centre of the box, and if I turn it up this way I want to get that corner exactly right. So make sure that is fitted in. So there's a nice corner. There's a nice corner. Now I can take this locking piece off and just fold it down. The double-sided tape we put in here is holding it together. So down it goes, and what I do now is put my fingers in here and pinch the corners so that they are nice rectangles, right angles. So let's bring in our box, fold up the sides, and we're going to check that the lid fits the box. If you've got your measurements right, it will be absolutely fine. So there is the start of our box. It's not terribly firm yet, but we're going to put something else inside. So let's take the lid off. We know that fits. So now we're going to do a middle box, which is 21 by 21. So here's my double-sided paper again, and we're going to score this one at 7 and 14. So turn that round, and we're going to score at 7, 14, turn it round, 7, 14. So I'm going to take my bone folder and do all the creases again. Always keep an eye that these sides are matching up. There we go. So what I'm going to do this time, I had, let's do it that way. Right, so if the outside was the blue pattern, I'm going to have the blue pattern up so that when I put these on, they'll be pink. So exactly the same as before. To just refold those. Now I know which colour I'm going for. And again, we're going to take out the corners. Right, these are 7cm panels. So when we come, just trim that, I've got a bit of the score line left there. Okay. When we come to do our decorative panels, if this was 7cm square, we want to cut them 6cm square. There we go. Right, so that is going to fit onto there. And I'm going to do 2 of these together. Just for speed. Right, so that's 6cm square. Right, so I'm going to take some silver again so it matches this one, and I think I'm going to go that way, I think. So I'm placing all of these with the pink side up. This is something that you can change your mind as you're doing it. The wet glue just gives you a tiny bit of wiggle room, but you do need to put it aside for just a couple of minutes so that the glue goes tacky. Okay, so we now, let me put that to one side so it's not confusing. I'm now doing the opposite colour scheme to what I had before, but because it's double-sided paper it will all tone in. There we go. So that's going to dry off for a few seconds. Right, so let's go back to our box here, and you'll see we've got this one that was 30 centimetres, this one was 21. Now you can also do a small box inside. That should be that way. I will just fix that. In there. I'll show you a secret to this in a minute. So if you wanted to do the small box inside, it's 15 by 15 and you're scoring at thirds, 5 and 10. So when you come to assemble your box, a good way of doing it is you're going to twist it at an angle. Now the thing that you need to look at is this bit here should be balanced with these edges. This bit should be balanced touching these bits. Right, so I've got that pretty central there, and I can just see a tiny triangle of the underneath there. So if I hold one portion, I can fold that back. I can apply my glue to that bottom panel, and while I know it's in exactly the right place, I can just press that down. Okay, so you can leave it a little bit longer, but I can now pull up those outer edges, pull up these, and my box is going to fit perfectly. And I will bring in my lid and put it, that's the wrong lid, isn't it? Right, so here's my proper lid. There we go. So now you can decorate the panels. The thing with using the double-sided paper is that you don't need to do a lot of decoration. The papers are doing it for you. Right, so let's have a look at one that's slightly more complicated. Right, this one here I prepared earlier, and this one, just turn that round so it's the right way. There we go, because I wanted the motif up here, and if I can tip it up, you'll see that there's a motif on the front too. So, are you ready for the big reveal? If we take the lid off and let it fold out, we have a 30 centimetre box, we have a 21 centimetre box, and instead of the 15 centimetre box in the middle, I've made a tiny lantern. So there is my surprise element in the middle. We're going to look at these in the next video, because we're going to do all sorts of things to hang onto your Christmas tree. Okay, so that one is very easy to do, but it's a lovely surprise when somebody opens it. All these decorations were from one sheet of decoupage. Okay, so it wasn't too extravagant. So let's bring in the other ones that we've done. This is the one that had the 15 centimetre square. This one was the 21 centimetre square, and this was the 30 centimetre square. And on goes the lid. So there's number 2, and this was the other one that we've just done. So have a go at making a box, and next time we'll be looking at how we do the little lantern inside. So happy crafting. God bless.